Hello all. Today I am here with the partners of Just Shawarma. So this is Ayush Malay. He's an ex-Christ. He graduated in the year 2015. And this is Gautam Jayprakash. He's also a Christ. They are classmates. And that is Nilesh Ravi. He's a Jainite and he completed his MBA in the year 2014. So we'll have a chat with them. So can you share the story of a BCom graduate starting going to an entrepreneurship business to start a model just like Just Shawarma?
Okay, it's a complicated story, okay?
Yeah.
So, me along with my friend Ashish, who's not here, who's in Qatar, so we were classmates. I was pursuing my MBA from Jain College. Then it was Ayush's concept. He came with this idea, why don't we start something of a shawarma joint, a brand for shawarma? Because there was huge craze for shawarma and people in Bangalore loved shawarma. So why don't we start something which serves only shawarma? Because you see everywhere, it was more of shawarma being an add-on in the restaurants. So the concept seemed to be good, and Ayush took the initiative of getting things on place, getting the vendors, all those things. So we didn't plan it like okay, we did the business plan, did a pilot study. We didn't do any of the things.
We just saw this point that nowhere shawarmas were being served as an individual product. Everywhere it was an add-on. So we saw an opportunity there. We thought, okay, shawarmas by itself has a lot of potential, which we wanted to explore. So we had this, me and my brother, we were exposed to shawarmas from Alain. So somewhere from there, this thing was stuck in our minds that okay, why don't we explore shawarma as an individual product and as a business model itself. Then of course we got a lot of inputs. So our recipe is actually from Qatar, the recipe what we serve, and it is tweaked here to an Indian taste.
Okay, so when did you start this business?
We started it back in 2015 while we were in college only. So we were in our second year BCom.
Okay.
And our brothers had finished.
2014 actually.
Sorry, May 2014.
First is what we started.
Yes.
May 21st, 2014 we started.
That time we were in our second year of college.
Okay.
When we started the business, and Anna was in the final year of MBA.
Okay.
So, what is it? I mean, almost I'm getting done with my education. So, these guys gave me job in running the so me and my partner.
So, the execution was done by the MBA brains.
Okay.
That is my brother Ashish and Nilesh.
So the planning was done by the BCom?
Yeah, so Gautam's involvement was along with me because we both were classmates.
Okay.
And he was the one who, your most favorite Malgoom shawarma, which is running beautiful.
So it's a very famous item in Bahrain.
Okay.
So I was surprised when I talked to other friends from Dubai, all these places. It's not there anywhere else. It's only there in Bahrain. So luckily I was able to bring that down to India. So once we brought down the Malgoom, now if you go to many places, there are shawarma being served in the Kerala product.
So it's a blessing, which we started off. We thought of the concept as okay, we wanted to serve shawarmas in the most authentic, most hygienic way possible. It was a concept like that which got refined due to a lot of involvement, a lot of good ideas coming forward, improve. So we've been evolving, improving every day.
Okay.
The plan has been from day one to take Just Shawarma as a global brand. Okay. So we've been working towards that every day.
So what was the initial challenges you faced and how you overcome those?
So, initial challenges, just like everyone only, we gave money to the wrong people, and what do you get? So it's like people were not accountable, and we also didn't do a thorough background check on the vendors. So we felt whatever they presented, yeah, this will be the right person to do it.
We were novices actually. We were very fresh into business, so we didn't. As Anna said, we never did any background checks or not. So we just started scrolling online about who are the fabricators, who can supply equipments and all, and we came across one guy.
Richard. His name is Richard.
Let's not name.
We don't even know whether that's his true name.
So this person looked very professional, very he'll communicate only over the email and things, and we thought, oh my god, Richard, his name was. So we
And
thought Jesus
we were in college also, so we were learning business communication, we were learning all these things on the same time. We were implementing that as well.
Okay.
So when we got those mails, we gave him the money without even visiting the factory. So then once the money was given, then
So almost our project got delayed for 60 to 90 days because of this person's involvement.
Okay.
You know, we used to call him, he'll make some excuse that, oh, the factory, there's some issue at the factory, there's fire at the factory and all of that. So we got fed up, and after 90 days we decided that, okay, Anna and Ashish made a decision that they'll go and check the factory. When they reached there, they realized there's no such factory at all.
See, the context of why we are saying this is not just that we met a wrong person. See, it's when you start something or when you are planning to start something, you might face a lot of hurdles like this. See, I was almost 23, 24, and me asking my father for a fund of 75,000 was a big deal. And father trusting it and giving it, and then we spending it on the wrong hand, it gives us a very big negative setback. But thank God our fathers kept on pushing us. They said that it's okay.
So that is the most important thing in business, having mentors. As Anna said now, luckily we had our fathers to guide us. Okay, so that point of time, rightly as he said, 75,000 was a big money for us. And we had decided that, okay, till we don't get the money back from this person, we will not go ahead. That point of time, our mentors, both my papa and Neeraj Sharma's father, they said, okay, you guys are starting a business. Okay, this is a setback or a loss you've faced. Okay, so now, despite that, you have to go ahead. And we are glad that we were able to take that decision and come today from that scenario where we were thinking that we'll go behind this guy. Today we are standing at 21 outlets and counting.
So that is not just an initial challenge we face, that is a day-to-day challenge we face even after running 21 outlets. Setbacks happen. Only thing we learned is that whatever happens, we have to go ahead. So that is the biggest lesson when we started Just Shawarma, we got.
So what makes Just Shawarma different from similar kind of other models, like other businesses?
We always had so Just Shawarma, when the concept started, we were the only ones who came up in terms of focusing shawarmas as an individual product and got it to the market. And we were the only ones who were doing varieties in terms of shawarmas.
So we always had the first mover advantage where we are the ones who started an exclusive brand or exclusive chain just for shawarmas.
Even now we stand out from all the other brands in terms of the service that we provide at all the outlets, the culture that we have within our team.
Okay.
So it's more like a family. The whole team, we operate as a family.
So if we have to be more precise, Just Shawarma is way too different or far too different from other players or anyone who's in the food industry is because of this team which we have, the people which we have with us, okay? They go to any extent to make sure that we are operational in a day.
Okay.
We don't have setbacks like, okay, today there was incident, we can't roll it. No matter what, we have found a way to keep it rolling. That is what we have done, and that is what we have inculcated to our staff, and that is what they are doing it to their subordinates. So anything which happens in Just Shawarma is not only faced by us, it's faced by the entire team, and any success which is achieved by Just Shawarma is not just celebrated by us, it's celebrated by the entire team. So that team gives us the differentiation of the entire place.
This one is a bit crazy question. So what if you have unlimited resources like finance, everything?
Vacation.
Unlimited resource of funding or all those things are good, okay? It's not a momentary thing, okay? Whatever the funding you are going to get, you are going to be accountable probably after 2 years or 5 years, okay? So before you don't have a plan or before you don't know which route you are planning to take it away, it's no point taking huge funding or resources.
Also, see, we believe that scarcity, when we've had scarce resources in terms of funding, etc., even from initial times, we found out a way to get the resources as per the needs of the business.
Like the same,
and
scarcity is the mother of inventions.
So in that scarcity, we've learned a lot. So there was a period when we had, say, kind of lost 4 of our outlets at one go because there were some BBMP issues. Our outlets used to be kiosks before, outside the blueprint of the building structures. So there was an issue where we had lost 4 of our outlets at one go. This happened in just a month's phase, and the finances were hit very hard.
Okay.
But in that scarcity, our relationships with our vendors, our relationships with our team. So we made sure that no matter what is happening in the finance in the back end, nothing affects the front end. By front end we mean the outlets.
Okay.
The outlets used to be rolling happily, joyously, no matter what we are facing at the back end. So the back end, in terms of our vendors, relationships and all, we really evolved. The vendors gave us a supportive hand at that point of time. We said, okay, this is the scenario we are going through. We'll need some support. So there was a lot of things, we as a team grew very stronger during that phase where we had scarce resources rather than having infinite
And
resources.
again, to just it up in a shorter format, if your intentions are right, any kind of resources will be utilized in the right way.
Yes.
If your intentions are wrong, how much ever resources you get, you will again go to nil.
So you give us resources, we will have the plan to allocate it in terms of new states. We will have the plan to allocate in terms of our personal trips, everything.
Okay, so finally, like to all the viewers, for the budding entrepreneurs, any advices or any tips for their career or something?
Advices and tips.
So, see, I mean, not everyone take up that first step, okay? So, even for that matter, me and Ashish used to keep talking, okay, my other partner.
Okay.
Whereas at that point of time, I used to took the first step. Because of that first step, we were able to do something, okay? And once you take the step, you become accountable, okay? That is nature. So you don't back off. That is human's nature.
I am still taking the steps now. Anna and Gautam are running.
That's what I'm
I am still taking baby steps.
get a partner like him who has lots of ideas so that he will get everything done. The
And
ideas.
see, always it's what do you say? Your as I rightly said, your intentions. Don't just do business for money or this thing. Of course, monetary is very important, but at the same time, try to give something to the customer also, to the society also. See, we are very glad that our business is a very successful model. We were able to duplicate it to franchisee model, and now. Because of what we started, our franchisees are also being benefited. So many people who wanted to take entrepreneurship are living their dream of entrepreneurship. So we feel that okay, this is a very positive note. We can do it. If we can do it for 15 franchisees in Bangalore, I'm sure we can take it up to 500 franchisees across the globe.
See, because these concepts, what come to you, our advice would be that don't let it go. Just because, see, there will be 100 negative things hitting your head that point of time.
Okay.
But this one beautiful concept that has struck you, because see, things struck you like a blessing. It's not like you sit and think about something for years and you come to a concept. That is different. What I'm telling is when something strikes you, you should have the courage to go ahead and explore that, because the market out there is huge. It is beyond what our understanding is. Even for us also, even today we don't know what. We are no one to advise basically, because we are also learning. Even after 5 years of business, every day is a new experience for us. Every day we face new issues. So there is nothing like we knew everything and we got into business. We just did our basic calculation in terms of 50 shawarmas. If we sell at the price of 50, we will sell it at 2,500. That is 75,000 turnover per month. Like that we started without a grand plan, but we had a very basic financial plan that worst to worst, what will hit us.
Okay.
Worst to worst, how much are we going to be affected? So when we did that calculation, we realized that worst to worst, it's only our pocket money which is going. So it's comfortable. See, that risk is comfortable. There's nothing we are losing. So we took that comfortable risk.
Same thing what as Anna and Ash was telling. So if you get an idea or if you're really interested in doing some business, see, as since we're in India, it'll be very difficult or somewhat difficult to convince your parents in doing these things.
Yes.
Give them the good numbers. Obviously they will see, as parents they will obviously if you are really interested or if you are really passionate about something, they will support you given by the facts or the numbers. So just the basic numbers, if you get them to understand the idea, then they will obviously be behind you and do that. So
Yeah, only if
just
you are
don't-
convinced.
Yeah, that's what. Only if you are convinced by yourself.
And one more add-on point to whatever it is that you have a concept. You take the guts to materialize it. You have a product, okay? You or me or anyone are no one to judge on that product. It's the customer who will judge whether it's right or wrong. So take it to the customer, If he likes it, you will know it. If he dislikes it, you will know it, and you will improvise more. So always leave the whatever, whether your concept will work or not, to the customer, rather than you discussing
Judging
or
it
you
out.
judging it out.
And be very careful with whom you are discussing your business ideas. See, there could be some person who just see you are taking a lot of unwanted opinions. This is something again we got from our mentors. When we had a good plan, I thought, okay, let's discuss this with resourceful people who can contribute rather than rubbish the business.
Okay.
So there were people who had rubbished the concept also initially, but we came ahead of that. We all agreed on the same points. We
So it's a
discussed.
package, it's a part and parcel. Okay, there is good side means of course there is negative also. So you need to balance it out both. That's it.
We can go on.
So this is the story of Just Shawarma. Within a 5-year span, from one store to 21 outlets and counting. So they grew a lot from their initial stage. From their experiences, from lot of initial hurdles and negativity, they came up with a successful idea, and now they are one of the best entrepreneurs in town. So all the best for their team and keep growing. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.